All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, HaKadosh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the Akim and Akwath. 12 tribes of Israel are out here. They are back. They are not lost. They were lost. And they weren't lost because they were in a desert somewhere or in the middle of the ocean or in an underwater city like Atlantis, or nobody knows where they are. No, they were lost because they were told that they were separated from their culture. They were divorced from their. They were not allowed to read. They were not allowed to write their own language as per the transatlantic slave trade. Pursuant to Psalms 83, where it says that the name of Israel should be forgotten. Basically, that the other nations are confederate against us. So the true tribes of Israel are as follows. We've got, let's see, what is one we're doing? We've got Judah, who are the Negroes, Benjamin, who are the Caribbeans, Levi, the Haitians, Reuben, which are the Seminole Indians and Aboriginal Australians, Issachar, which are the Mexicans, Naphtali, which are the Hawaiians, Samoans and South Pacific Islanders, Manasseh, which are the Cubans, Zebulon, which are the Colombians, Panamanians and Guatemalans, Simeon, which are the Dominicans, Asher, which are the Brazilians, Argentinians and Venezuelans, Ephraim, which are the Puerto Ricans, and Gad, which are the North American Indians. So my daughter was asking me, before I get into it, I gotta go through my preliminaries, man. You know, like I've always said that if I don't get the name of the Lord right, if I can get the name of the Lord right in each and push that out there, then it's at least a decent, half a decent lesson. The real name of the Lord is Yahweh. Yah meaning He, Hawa meaning to be. The name of His Son is Yahweh Shai. Yah meaning He, and Hawa Shai meaning saves. You know, Jesus doesn't mean anything. Doesn't have a meaning. Jesus, what does that mean? You know, like, but Yahweh Shai means He, and He was given that name for He shall save His people. Who is His people? His people are the Israelites of the 12 tribes, all the descendants today, who are descended through the patrilineal line. They come down through the father, and all mixed. You know, this is not a black or white thing. This is not. There are Israelites who are black. There are Israelites who are white. There are Edomites who are black. There are Edomites who are white. So it's not a color thing. It's not a race thing. You know. But having said that, it is said in Revelations that the color of his skin was as unto fine brass as if it was burnt in the furnace. So we know that the color of the skin, the Most High, was brown. But as per the Israelites who are on earth today, we're all different nations, we're all different colors. Not all different nations. We're the nation of Israel, but we're all different colors. We're all different cultures. Let's say. Jacob and Esau. You know, and let's get that in the scriptures. Let's see if I can find it. I think it's Genesis. Genesis 23 or something like that. I just want to see them striving together. My daughter asked me a question today. She said, how come Jacob did that to Esau, that it was his brother, like made him swear to him to sell him his birthright? And you know, wasn't that a bit of a tricksy thing to do? The thing is, they weren't tight. Jacob and Esau, they weren't tight. They weren't bros. I put a lesson out today saying Jacob and Esau were brothers, but they weren't bros. You know, like to say that they weren't friendly with each other. They had an enmity between them, right? And it was more that the enmity, you know, when it says in the scriptures, let's get some Genesis 23, start on 1. No, why am I in Amos? Genesis 23. And that's Abram. He gives birth to Isaac. Let's go to 25, 26. So this is verse 27. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said to him, my son. And he said, behold, here I am. And he said, behold, now I'm old. But before that, I want to go to Rebekah. Okay, so where we are. It's at 23, I thought. No, this is 24. This is 25. So Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to be to wife, daughter of Bethuel and Syrian of Paddan Aram, and sister to Laban the Syrian. And the Lord was entreated of him, looking at verse 21, and Rebekah his wife conceived, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? So Isaac had prayed so that Rebekah could have children, and she had two. But they were fighting, and they weren't like, oh yeah, they were just trying to get room or readjust themselves. They was actually trying to do one. They was actually trying to do something to each other, like these little babies. They're like literally trying to get in. And she's like, well, look, the Lord has blessed me with children. Well, why is it the case that they're fighting? What the hell? And so she went to inquire of the Lord. And in those days, inquiring of the Lord was actually going to see the prophets. He's going to see the prophet. You'll ask him the question. The prophet, who'd kept himself, he kept himself clean and ritually, in step and in tune with the Lord, will be able to tell. And also, obviously, someone that the Lord is called to be a prophet, because you can't choose yourself to be a prophet. Someone who's in tune with the mind of the Heavenly Father, who the Lord has deemed worthy to speak to. She'd asked, and it says here, two nations. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that, his brother came out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. So we understand that. And one of the interesting things is that Esau is a progenitor of the Caucasian race, right? But we know that, at the moment, everybody's all mixed up. But at the time, he was a progenitor of the Caucasian race. And he came out red, if you see a Caucasian as they're born, when they come out red. So the first came out red as a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that, his brother came out and took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And the heel is in excuse me, in wrestling, you got someone's heel, that's it, it's game over. You just lift it up. That's it, they're on their arse. So if you ever see two wrestlers, they kind of in a scrum, they're holding each other's shoulders, and one might try and grab the other one's heel and quickly shift his feet back, because you don't want to give your foot to get someone's. You don't want to have someone grab your foot or grab you by your ankle, right? That's a weak spot. When it's game over. If someone's got you by the ankle, he's grabbed your ankle, it's usually game over in wrestling, right? So that's why in 2nd Ezra, it shows that Jacob had Esau's heel, means that he will upturn him, usurp him, to take his place, to push him out of his position. That's a sign. Excuse me. That's a sign. And his brother came out, and it was 3 short years, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. So you like to stay out basically, and he liked to be abroad. Now that again goes back to the spirit of Cain. You know, if you're about out and about all the time, oh my God, my throat. Should have brought a drink. Didn't bring a drink. If you're out and about all the time, you know that's called being a vagabond. Okay, Google. Okay, Google. Define vagabond. See if I can do it this way, so we understand. Can receive it. Where the spirit of Esau came from. A vagabond is a person who wanders from place to place without fixed home or regular work. So Esau didn't really like to chill at home like Jacob. He had the same spirit of Cain, which was a vagabond upon the earth. And so you know that you see Esau all over the place. He's always traveling. Always like to go different places. It's not a bad thing, to be honest, but you need to have a place where you call home. They call it Europe, but Europe ain't actually his home, so it's a bit of a mystery. You know, you look back into ancient Europe, you see that it's basically Jakes, or basically melanated people who were there at the time. So anyway, where were we with? Yeah, Esau was the man of the field. He used to like to chill outside, but Jacob used to like to dwell in tents. He used to stay inside. And Isaac loved Jacob because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sod pottage. So like, there was kind of like, because really, it won't be the case that you say, oh, this one loves this one and this one loves that one. But it's really the case that they didn't really get on, and so they did their own thing. But then the parents, that split, them doing their own thing, caused the parents to, choose who they have. They weren't like everybody was chilling around the table all the time, so everybody was in each other's company. No, so Isaac used to chill more with Esau, and Rebekah used to chill more with Jacob. And Esau said, Jacob, feed me, I prayed thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint, therefore his name is called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. So, hold on, maybe we come back, went too far. Yeah, so and Jacob sod pottage, so he made some pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said, Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore is his name called Edom. Adawam means wasted away. So, either due to the lack of pigment, or also, at the time he was faint, or the pottage was red as well. So, there's a lot of things to see why he was called Edom. But at the end of the day, they weren't tight. So him saying, so you'll see it online a lot, right? And it's because, secretly they know, the story. They know who they're the progenitors of in terms of, today's nations and stuff like that. So they try to make Jacob look like the bad person, but really they weren't tight. So if someone comes up to me and I don't necessarily like them, and I've got an enmity with them, and they say, oh, give me that, then it's okay to sell it. If you want to sell it, you say, no, I'm not going to give that to you, but I'll give it to you for a price. So if you're really that faith, you'll come and eat this. It's not. Yeah. So some people think, oh well, you should have been nice to him, but these aren't. As I said, these aren't bros, man. They're not tight. They're not tight like that. They're not trying to be. They're not trying to chill with each other like that. They're not trying. So even him coming up, imagine someone that you hate. You've just cooked some food, right? How Jake likes to get down with his food as well, right? He likes to put spices in it. He'll be making it just how he likes. He takes time seasoning the meat. He'll be taking time, like putting this one, that one, this herb, that herb, cooking it right, cooking this bit right. Because he's gonna get down with it later on. And someone comes that you don't like, give me some. Feed me, feed me, out of respect. You might feed them, but you might say it's going to cost you, and there's nothing wrong with that, as you have to understand that Isaac was rich. He had money. He had cattle, he had sheep, he had wives. So it's not the case that Esau was like, was really gonna like not have any food. There would be something he could eat, but he wanted the pottage, he wanted the meat, he wanted the lentils and everything that was in there. So that's what he wanted it. So that's what he that's why Jacob sold it to him. So you see online a lot of the time they'll be saying, oh yeah, Esau tricked Jacob and Jacob shouldn't have done it, but really Esau sold his birthright fair and square. Let's go a bit further on. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. That means despised, to look down upon. Let's get that definition. Okay, Google. Define despise.
To despise something or someone means to have a strong feeling of dislike and contempt for them, often because you consider them to be worthless.
Yeah, so looking down on, to not necessarily. I don't want to say that he hated it, but he didn't really see his birthright as that important.